Uniqueness in the film industry is a complicated process which requires an expertise of a certain style that has never been shown before. You're not just learning the style, you're creating the lessons for yourself alongside it. Wes Anderson, Stanley Kubrick, Don Hertzfeldt and Hideaki Anno are some of the most innovative and iconic directors in film history, and they all combine techniques together to create a truly standout experience. Wes Anderson is an iconic example of standing out in the film industry. His use of frame centrality and lack of filler makes his films one of a kind. Anderson's writing is direct and sharp, with wittiness littered all over as the characters speak.
What'd the doctor say?
Nothing. Supposedly it's just a 24-hour bug. He gave me some pills.
I told you, he probably just ate some bad gristle. We take the shortcut or the scenic route?
There's no filler, not even introduction, and this gives an impression that the characters are anti-time wasters in all scenarios. Anderson keeps his serious themes under a mask of comedy, however these themes still fully bloom when required.
Who am I, Kylie?
Who how?
Why a fox? Why not a horse or a beetle or a bald eagle? I'm saying this more as like existentialism, you know? Who am I? And how can a fox ever be happy without you'll forgive the expression, a chicken in its teeth?
His films are driven by the characters, with their uniqueness and development often being the true lead of the story. Anderson very often uses flat, wide, symmetric and long shots. Very close shots on faces as well. This ties into the lack of filler in the dialogue, and there's no waste as we are forced to watch the characters. The different shots are achieved either by following the main focus or by stitching multiple cuts into one shot. The shots also often have a limited color palette as a way for Anderson to set the tones for his scenes. Anderson uses a mix between lots of or no edits at all. At times he lets the shot continue to show multiple things at once, or other instances where he cuts between the dialogue of two characters. Editing is precise and silence at unnecessary times is never prominent. His interest in symmetry also extends to editing as well, with repeated compositions, staging and shot lengths. The no-filler style of Wes Anderson is where his uniqueness purely derives from, and it allows for full immersion towards the characters and the world. Considered a pioneer of modern film, Stanley Kubrick is someone who heavily prioritized the philosophy of his films over anything else. Even with the variance between every one of his films, all have big ideas and describe humanity. Instead of spoon-feeding these concepts to us, in 2001, Kubrick strips the film of almost all dialogue and perfects what little dialogue exists.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Kubrick uses a combination of techniques to further elevate the motif of philosophy. In 2001, a large majority of the film is comprised of very, very long shot sequences, combined with negative space to soak in the beauty of the universe rather than progress the plot. The grandiosity that is given to seemingly minute things progresses his films into one that is appreciative of its own beauty. Kubrick uses specific colors as symbolism, such as green with death, as well as elevated and more saturated colors throughout his films to tie into certain themes. Kubrick's use of both still and moving shots enables him to further exemplify the scenes, whether it be through the beauty of the shot or the march towards inevitability. Kubrick's drawn-out editing allows the film to achieve its beauty. Some chapters of the film can often appear to be useless, but it is Kubrick's method of giving the film its sense of life. He understands that the core meaning would not be fully established without these chapters' existences. As a director not afraid to establish his films in a complete sense, Kubrick achieves his goal of a philosophical journey, and 2001's raw beauty is, at all times, star-striking. Don Hertzfeldt's stick figures are a baseline for his translation of reality. In It's Such a Beautiful Day, Don's writing borders between grand themes and comedy, giving it a sense of black humor.
Words caught in Bill's throat, and he replied, "Way."
The writing is unfiltered. The narrator translates every part of the main character Bill's mind from a viewpoint that is not prone to being clouded.
Then some little fat kid with a deformed foot tried to sell him a magazine subscription. Bill looked at the list of magazines for sale and angrily wondered why they didn't offer any Asian porn.
The writing comes off as a recreation of life itself. His films are simply stick figures, but he also incorporates other techniques related to camera usage. Traditional camera techniques such as depth of field and settings within the camera itself are used to give purer focus onto the actions and thoughts of Bill. Some scenes often have oversaturated colours and effects caused by tweaking the camera itself, and it makes the chaotic sequences more profound. And in rare moments, footage of reality such as fire or trees are used to exemplify the thoughts of Bill further. Hertzfeld edits the film in a way to provide the most information possible. The film can often cut between multiple different scenes from different parts of the screen, but it can also have cathartic moments where it sticks on a certain shot, letting the feelings wash over. The black glow around the shots give a deeper focus. There is almost never any white noise, and shots within the black glow have a clear subject. Hertzfeld establishes this translation of unfiltered reality by incorporating thematic elements across every section of the filmmaking process. Hideki Anno creates a psychological mind-bender through the consistent metaphors of the characters. While Evangelion seems like a mecha action movie, at its core it's about the characters and their internal conflict. The characters are extensions of Anno's own internal struggles. Shinji, a depressed kid with a need for purpose, Asuka, a pushing menace to escape her past, and Rei, one of many clones, a silent being questioning her true self. Many times, these traits are used in sequences that play purely into psychological thought analyses, which strip the characters of their mask and showcase their struggles unfiltered. Evangelion uses a variety of shots for different types of scenes, ranging from close to medium shots for its action, but also certain wide shots for scenes where dialogue or feeling has more prominence. Lighting is also special, as Anno carves stunning color palettes to deepen his story, often using darker shots for when the characters are inside. Lighting is also used to tell a story in many places, with certain color filters being used especially within the psychological sequences. In terms of cutting, Evangelion uses both the fastest cuts and almost no cuts at all. There are scenes where it's frantically switching between different shots, but the film can also tend to stay on a single shot for up to a minute. Evangelion creates a beauty within both, setting the tone masterfully as we are thrown into a psychological roller coaster. Anno's experimental directing allows his translation of every psychological struggle portrayed to be fully realized through metaphors in an unfiltered perspective. Each of these directors fully established their unique style by masterfully injecting it into every section of the filmmaking process. This unfiltered perspective from each of them is never once clouded by conveniences or compromises, and it's these directors' methods of achieving that perspective which creates the true definition of cinema.